In a world that often celebrates perfection and flawless execution, it's easy to believe that failure is something to avoid at all costs. But sometimes, it's the moments when everything goes wrong that become the turning point in our lives. For Sarah, that turning point came under the glare of a stage spotlight, with hundreds of eyes on her and her carefully practiced words just out of reach. The silence in the auditorium was deafening, broken only by the frantic beating of her own heart. Every second felt stretched and magnified, every whisper in the audience a reminder of her vulnerability. As she stood frozen, her mind blank and her confidence unraveling, it seemed as though she had reached a dead end. That night, Sarah's thoughts raced. Shame and disappointment swirled together, convincing her that she would never set foot on a stage again. The memory of that failed speech played on repeat in her mind, each time sharper and more painful than before. She wondered if she was simply not meant for public speaking, if the courage she thought she had was just an illusion. Yet, despite the weight of her embarrassment, something inside her refused to accept defeat. Instead of letting that moment define her, Sarah chose to see it as an opportunity. She sought out a local speaking club, a small group of people who met weekly to support each other's journeys. The first time she spoke in front of them, her hands shook and her voice trembled, but no one laughed or whispered. Encouragement replaced criticism, and understanding replaced judgment. With each meeting, Sarah faced her fear head-on. She stumbled, she faltered, but she always got back up. Gradually, she realized that every mistake was simply a lesson in disguise, every awkward pause a chance to grow. Sarah's transformation didn't happen overnight. It was a process of tiny victories and setbacks, of learning to be kind to herself even when things didn't go as planned. She began to embrace the idea that failure isn't an ending. It's a pause, a breath, a comma in the ongoing story of who we are becoming. With each speech she gave, her confidence grew. She learned to let go of perfection and focus on connection. She discovered that vulnerability wasn't a weakness, but a source of real strength. Months after her first disastrous speech, Sarah found herself standing on stage once more. This time, she spoke not just with words, but with conviction. She shared her journey honestly, recounting the pain of her earlier failure and the lessons it had taught her. The audience listened, captivated not by a flawless performance, but by the authenticity of her story. When she finished, the applause was thunderous, not just for the speech she gave, but for the courage she had shown in getting there. Sarah's journey is a testament to the power of resilience. It's a reminder that failure is not a verdict, but a teacher. It shows us that the moments we fear most can become the foundations upon which we build our greatest strengths. And most importantly, it proves that even when our voices falter or fall silent, the act of rising again sends a message more powerful than any speech. In finding the courage to face her fears, Sarah didn't just rediscover her voice, she inspired others to find theirs as well. So, the next time you find yourself standing at the edge of failure, remember Sarah's story. Know that it's okay to stumble, to forget, to fall short. What matters most is the choice to rise, to learn, and to speak again. Because sometimes, it's in the silence after failure that we find the true beginnings of our greatest triumphs.